I've been a good-looking guy since I was a little kid. My sister was always paranoid that some sketchy girls would try to take advantage of me. Before she headed overseas, she packed my bags and dumped me at her biggest business rival's house. Xiang, look after my brother for me. I have some business to handle, so I'll be out of the country for a while, she said. Xiang looked surprised. You really want me to babysit your brother? Are you serious? I'm positive. We might be rivals now, but we grew up together. Just keep a close eye on him, and I'll make it worth your while, my sister replied. Keep your cash. Just leave HN here with me, Xiang said. She agreed way too fast, and she didn't even care about the money. Something feels off about this, but I don't really have any other options. I have to leave right now, and I'm terrified that Chen will be preyed on by some gold diggers. After thinking it over, leaving with Mo Xiang seems like the safest bet. Mo Xiang's private life is totally spotless. There has never been a single guy around her, so she definitely won't have any improper thoughts about HN. I have to warn you first. My brother is a very good boy, and you aren't allowed to bully him. Our families might have a grudge, but that has nothing to do with the kid, my sister stated firmly. Xiang sighed. You're such a nag, fine. I won't waste any more breath on you. Since you agreed, HN, you'll be staying here for the next 2 months. Then she turned around and ordered the bodyguards to move my luggage. I stood there on the sidewalk, feeling completely insulted. This whole thing is just unreasonable. Why does she have to dump me with a woman I barely know? Mo Xiang stood nearby, and I saw the corners of her lips curl into a tiny smile. She was thinking about how the person she's been dreaming about day and night just delivered himself right to her front door. Suyu watched as the bodyguards finished with the bags, then she looked back at Mo Xiang. I just sent 10 million to your account. Go ahead and check it. Oh, and since it's summer break, keep a tight leash on him. People are always asking him out. You have to help me block anyone with bad intentions. I trust you because you aren't like those people who only care about looks. You definitely won't take advantage of my brother. Yeah, right. What woman doesn't want the man she likes? Fate just delivered him to my door, and I'm definitely not letting him get away. Suyu checked the time, and her voice sounded urgent. My flight is at noon, and I'm running out of time. You have to take good care of him. Little brother, I'm heading out. Don't go running around. After she finished her instructions, Suyu rushed into the car. I watched her drive away, and I was left standing there with a heavy sigh. While I was still in a daze, a faint, elegant scent drifted toward me. I looked down and met a pair of gentle eyes. For a second, I completely forgot how to move. What does she want from me? If she tries to lecture me, I'm running away right now. Mo Xiang's gaze stayed on my face. Her voice sounded deep and seductive. It's getting late. Let's go inside. Oh, okay, I muttered. I stepped to the side, trying to let her go first. When she saw that I wasn't moving, her tone got a little colder. What's wrong? Am I so beautiful that you can't even walk? My voice was a bit stiff when I answered, you go first. Mo Xiang didn't know about the little plans running through my head. All she could think was that she couldn't let HN escape. Stop wasting time. Hurry up and get inside. I felt annoyed immediately. I stared at the road behind her, calculating my odds of making a break for it. Mo Xiang caught my drift immediately, and her gaze turned even icier. Your sister entrusted you to my care. I'm the one in charge of keeping you safe now. If you want to leave, you'll have to wait until she comes to get you herself. I let out a bitter sneer, then turned around and marched into the villa. There's no point in fighting the inevitable, so I had no choice but to accept my fate. If HN really insisted on leaving, I honestly wouldn't have a clue what to do. I walked into the living room and collapsed onto the couch. Where's my room? I asked. To answer you, young Master Su, it's the first door at the top of the stairs on the second floor, the maid replied. I don't want that one. I want the room further down the hall. Just as I said that, Mo Xiang stepped inside. I quickly shifted to a more polite tone. You promised my sister you'd take good care of me. I just want a bedroom that I actually like. That's fine. Clear out my master bedroom for him, she commanded. My eyes went wide with shock. I never expected the room I casually pointed at to be her actual bedroom. Never mind, I really don't want it anymore. Just find me any random room on the 3rd floor. Young Master Su, there aren't any bedrooms on the 3rd floor, the maid explained. Mo Xiang walked over to the side, poured a glass of water, and handed it to me. There are only 2 bedrooms in this house. Pick one. Whichever one you want is perfectly fine. I couldn't believe it. This fierce and cutthroat queen of the business world was actually serving me water herself. It was a total reversal from her usual image as an ice-cold beauty. I just stared at her blankly, completely forgetting to look away. Mo Showing seemed to get a bit shy under my intense gaze. She tried to act composed and asked, "Is there something on my face?" "No," I replied. Mo Showing just assumed I was mesmerized by her looks. She felt secretly pleased, and her voice became a little lighter. "Have you decided yet? Which room do you want?" "Any room is fine. You pick. I'll just sleep in whichever room you're in." Mo Showing gave me a long, heavy stare. The maid standing nearby also froze, looking completely shocked that I'd say something like that. I finally realized what I'd just let slip and tried to fix it as fast as I could. Just give me whichever room is left." Mo Showing smiled and gave the maid new instructions. "It's getting late. Go get the guest room ready for him first." The maid nodded and walked away. I watched her go, hesitated for a second, and muttered, "Thank you." But Mo Showing's expression turned cold again. She didn't like that polite "thank you," and she especially hated the formal way we were talking to each other. It felt way too distant. I picked up the glass and took a sip, but the phone in my pocket suddenly started buzzing. I pulled it out and glanced at the caller ID. I tried to sneak a peek at Mo Showing, who was still standing right next to me. Chen's sneaky behavior makes it obvious he doesn't want me to know who's calling him. Mo Showing noticed the faint look of joy on my face, and a bad feeling immediately started to sink in. She walked over and sat down right beside me. The sofa dipped under her weight. I turned my head and our eyes met perfectly. "Who are you talking to?" she asked. "Hey Chen, why do I hear a woman's voice next to you?" the caller asked. I lowered my voice and explained, "It's just a friend of my sister's." As for Mo Showing's question, I didn't even bother answering it. Instead, I stood up and deliberately put some distance between us. Mo Showing just watched me, her eyes full of playful reproach. I could only stand there and take it. I kept trying to explain everything over the phone. "I'm really just at home," I said. "It's just my sister's friend, I swear. It isn't anyone else." Mo Showing's voice sounded nothing like Su Yu's, so Joey could easily tell them apart. As Mo Showing watched me scramble to explain myself, a wave of jealousy started bubbling up inside her. She purposely raised her voice, letting a seductive tone slip in. "Oh, Chen, it's getting pretty late," she said. "Why don't you come upstairs and get some rest with me?" My eyes went wide with pure shock. I couldn't believe my ears. "What did you just say?" I mouthed at her. "Su Chen, where are you right now?" Joey demanded over the line. "Who are you supposed to be resting with?" "No, wait, it's not like that. You're getting the wrong idea," I pleaded, but the call was cut off abruptly. I frowned and stared at Mo Showing, totally lost for words. "What kind of crazy stuff were you just saying?" I asked. "Look at what you did. Now she's got the wrong idea." "Misunderstood what?" she asked innocently. I wanted to say it. I wanted to tell her she made it look like something was happening between us, but the words were stuck in my throat. I just couldn't force them out. I hung my head instead. My sister had warned me before that Mo Showing wasn't someone you wanted to mess with, and I really couldn't afford to offend her. I knew I had to change the topic fast. "You just called me a Chen," I pointed out. "Weren't you using my full name just a second ago?" "Am I not allowed to use it?" she countered. "No, it's not that. It just feels a little strange." Hearing that seemed to cheer her up immediately. "Was that girl on the phone your girlfriend?" she asked. I looked away, feeling the heat rise in my face. "Of course not," I mumbled. "So you aren't dating her?" she pressed. "No." "Tell me the truth. I won't say a word to your sister," she promised. She secretly wanted to know which brat thought they could steal her man. "Seriously, we aren't dating," I insisted. "We're just close friends. You promised, okay? You can't tell my sister." Even if they weren't dating yet, Showing figured they probably would be soon. That thought just made her feel even more irritated. When she stayed quiet, I started to feel a bit anxious. I needed to get out of there. "I'm gonna head up to my room now," I said quickly. I stood up, trying to make a break for it, but my leg accidentally knocked against her knee. A faint, sweet scent suddenly filled my nose. I stared at her, my eyes wide with shock. She just looked back at me quietly. We were so close to each other. I stammered, my voice shaking with panic. I didn't mean to do that. My voice was trembling, and I couldn't help it. I'd never been this close to a girl in my entire life. My face turned beet red instantly. "What was that?" I asked. I tried to stand up again, but I was so nervous that I tripped over my own feet. I fell right back down, and this time I missed the armrest completely. It was such a clumsy, embarrassing mess. I scrambled back up and ran away as fast as I could. "Silly puppy," she teased. "You can't even walk in a straight line." "I am not a puppy," I yelled back. Mo Showing watched me stomp away and sighed to herself. She realized she had really fallen hard for him. I made it to my room, washed my face, and just stared at my phone. I was starting to get worried. Joey wasn't replying to any of my messages now. What was I supposed to do? I always have a hard time sleeping in a new bed, so I just tossed and turned. In the room next door, Mo Xiaoying couldn't sleep either. She really wanted to sneak over to his room, even if it was just to see him for a second. No, I can't, she thought. What if he's a light sleeper and I wake him up? What if he thinks I'm a total creep? She went back and forth for most of the night before finally deciding to give. It was 8:30 in the morning. Mo Xiaoying sat at the dining table, staring at the breakfast spread while her eyes kept drifting toward the stairs. Aunt Leo saw right through her and finally spoke up. Miss, should I go upstairs and get young Master Su for breakfast? Aunt Leo asked. Mo Xiaoying didn't say a word, but her silent nod gave the green light. 10 minutes later, I dragged myself down the stairs with messy hair and dark circles under my eyes. Seriously, what kind of college student wakes up at 8 for breakfast? I barely slept a wink last night and it's entirely her fault. Now Zhou Yi is completely ignoring me. Mo Xiaoying's expression turned icy the moment I spoke. She had already looked into things the night before. That girl named Zhou Yi was getting way too close to her silly puppy lately. It annoyed her. Imagine losing a whole night of sleep over some woman. So what? I snapped. If you hadn't said those things yesterday, Zhou Yi wouldn't be ghosting me. Mo Xiaoying picked up her coffee and took a slow sip. She was clearly trying to hide her irritation. I slumped into my seat and started picking at my porridge. Hey, could you maybe come with me today? I asked cautiously. I need you to help me explain things to her. She gave me a cold look and stayed silent. I immediately shut my mouth. I kept my head down and focused on my food, silently cursing my own stupidity. Was I losing my mind from exhaustion? Trying to boss her around was basically a death wish. I thought she was going to ignore me, but then she spoke up. When do we leave? She asked. Wait, I thought you wanted me to go with you? Today isn't a good time, though. How about tomorrow then? I suggested. Fine. Just stay home and get some rest today. I'll go with you tomorrow, she replied. She was secretly laughing inside. She planned to put on a real show tomorrow. By the time she was finished, she would make sure the two of us fell out for good. I had no clue what was actually going on in her head. I actually thought she was being a good person. I even started to feel bad about my own behavior. Since she was Su Yu's childhood friend, I figured I should probably be nicer to her from now on. That thought actually made me feel a bit better. After I finished eating, I went back upstairs to catch up on sleep. Before I passed out, I sent Zhou Yi one last message. I told her I was bringing someone to explain everything the next day. She just replied with a short no need. The next morning, I climbed into Mo Xiaoying's Maybach. Thanks for taking the time to do this, Sister Xiaoying, I said. Mo Xiaoying's red lips curled into a slight smile. She loved hearing me call her that. Her silly puppy sounded so sweet when he was being polite. Don't mention it, she said. I promised Su Yu I would look after you. I wondered why my sister left me with her. They were supposed to be bitter rivals. My sister, Su Yu, was clearly a fool. She thought I'd be safe here, but she didn't realize Mo Xiaoying had been watching me for years. My sister basically handed me over on a silver platter. It was a total gift. Zhou Yi was working as an intern at her family's business, so we drove straight there to find her. When we pulled up, Mo Xiaoying and I both stepped out of the car. She looked at the small, plain building and frowned. She couldn't believe my taste was this bad. Didn't I even care about family status when picking a partner? I ignored her look and took a couple steps forward. I realized she wasn't following me, so I doubled back. I caught her by the arm and tugged her toward the entrance. Let's go. Come on in. Mo Xiaoying's lashes trembled as she looked down at my hand gripping her. Just as she started to reach for my wrist, I let go and hurried toward the reception desk. Mo Xiaoying followed behind me at a slow, unhurried pace. She seemed to be waiting for me to take her hand, as if that would settle everything, but I turned around at the exact wrong moment. She stared at her empty palm, and a flicker of disappointment crossed her face. Yeah, I said, let's get moving. We swiped our way through the security gate and stepped into the elevator. I kept stealing glances at her, trying to read her expression. She seemed a bit upset all of a sudden, and I couldn't figure out why. Whatever, I just needed her to help me explain the situation properly. As long as she did that, nothing else could go wrong. I looked up at her as we reached our floor. Sister Xiaoying, you have to make everything clear when we talk to her. Please don't let her get the wrong idea again. Right as I finished speaking, the elevator doors slid open. I stepped out quickly. Even though Joey was just an intern, she'd already landed a supervisor role with her own private office. I scanned the area until I found it, but the door was already slightly ajar. I wondered if she knew I was coming and left it open for me on purpose. She told me to stay away yesterday, but maybe she didn't mean it. I'm glad I stayed persistent. I pushed the door open slowly. The second I walked in, I heard some very suggestive noises. I looked over at the sofa and saw a man and a woman right there. I recognized that woman's figure instantly. I stumbled back, my pupils shrinking in total shock. Zhou Yai. She snapped out of it the moment she heard my voice. Su Chen. She whipped her head toward the man next to her. Liu Qingyang, why is it you? Liu Qingyang didn't seem bothered at all. He just adjusted his clothes and wore a playful smirk. Yi, what are you talking about? Zhu Yi jumped up in a panic and ran toward me. Ah, Chen, it's not what it looks like. Just listen to me. I can explain. I really thought it was you just now. I looked at the marks all over her body, and my chest burned with rage. Are you out of your mind? She tried to reach for my hand, but Mo Shuang stepped in and blocked her. You don't deserve to touch him. Zhou Yai looked hurt and confused. Ah, Chen, please listen to me. I really thought it was you. I don't know how it turned out to be him. Tell me, where do I look anything like that guy? To think I actually brought someone here to help me explain things to her. I must have been completely blind. I'm sorry, Ah, Chen, she sobbed. I was wrong. I didn't mean to do it. I don't even like him. You're the only one in my heart. She kept apologizing, but her words were a mess. My eyes were filled with nothing but disgust. I don't want used goods like you. You're repulsive. I actually came here today to clear up what happened the other day. It looks like there's no need for that anymore. We're done. Zhu Yi tried to reach for me again. Ah, Chen, don't go. This is just a misunderstanding. But Liu Qingyang suddenly grabbed her hand from behind. Yay, don't leave me, he said. I stepped back into the elevator and let my head hang low. I felt like I was losing control of my emotions. That girl told me she loved me every single day, but it was all a lie. Don't be sad, Mo Shuang said. You guys weren't even together. Whatever she does has nothing to do with you. There's no reason to be heartbroken over her. Her words were like a knife. Her words felt like a knife, stabbing ruthlessly into my heart. I looked up and glared at her, my eyes filled with bitterness and rage. You're only here to mock me, aren't you? Are you happy now? I snapped. My sister was right about you. You just have a vendetta against the Su family. She shook her head, looking concerned. That isn't what I meant at all. I'm not laughing at you. I didn't want to hear it. As soon as the elevator doors slid open, I bolted out and left her standing there. Once I was outside the building, I climbed into the back of the Maybach without thinking. It was only when I realized it was her car that I tried to jump back out, but the doors clicked shut. I heard the soft rustle of fabric as she moved closer to me. I swallowed hard, feeling my pulse quicken. What are you doing? I asked. Mo Shuang reached out and lightly tapped my forehead. Her voice was surprisingly soft. Don't be so miserable. It's actually a blessing that you saw her true colors before things got serious. I felt like trash inside. I couldn't wrap my head around why Zhou Yi would treat me like that. We were so close to making it official, so how did everything fall apart so fast? Still, my pride wouldn't let me show how much it hurt. I looked away and acted tough. She wasn't even my type, I muttered stubbornly. If it's over, then it's over. I couldn't care less. Mo Shuang clearly didn't buy it. Is that so? She asked. I turned back to her, my voice turning sharp. You better not tell my sister a single thing about this. Mo Shuang nodded immediately. Don't worry. My lips are sealed. Just have the driver take me home. You can go do whatever you need to do, I told her. Fine, she replied. Mo Shuang stepped out of the car. She stood there and watched the Maybach pull away before she turned toward a Bentley parked a few spots over. Yu King was standing by the Bentley, handing a check for 1 million yuan to Liu Qingyang. He grabbed the money, grinning like an idiot from ear to ear. Mo Shuang looked at him with pure disgust. Get him out of the country, she ordered. I don't want to see his face in this city ever again. He's an eyesore. The moment I stepped into the villa, I shut myself in my room. I slumped onto the sofa and just stared blankly out the window. When Mo Shuang got back from the office, the maids told her I hadn't touched my lunch. They said I'd been hiding in my room all day and refused to come out. She got annoyed instantly. That stubborn little puppy. He told her earlier that he was fine, but now he was locked away, playing the part of a brooding prince. The sharp sound of high heels clicked against the stairs. A moment later, there was a gentle knock on the wood. Ah Chen opened the door. Mo Shuang called out. When I didn't respond, her voice got firmer. If you don't open this door right now, I'm coming in anyway. She didn't even wait for an answer before she pushed the door open. I looked up at her, my vision blurry and my heart feeling completely empty. Seeing how pathetic I looked, all the anger drained out of her. I thought you said you didn't care, she sighed. So why are you hiding in here and starving yourself? I looked at the beautiful, elegant woman standing before me. Am I just not good looking enough? I asked, sounding totally defeated. Why else would she pick that guy over me? My insecurity clearly bothered her. She wasn't even in your league, she said firmly. With your looks and your family background, you deserve someone 10 times better. There was a hidden meaning in her words, but I was too miserable to notice it. Enough of this. Come downstairs and eat something. You've been fasting all day, and your stomach can't handle it. I'm not hungry, I muttered. If you don't get up this second, I'm calling your sister, she threatened. She wasn't joking, and the threat was as clear as day. That comment pulled me right out of my funk. You're heartless, I muttered, finally giving in. I slowly pulled on my shoes and headed downstairs to grab a bite. I slumped at the dining table, reluctantly poking at the rice in my bowl. There is a whole spread here. Is there really nothing you want? She asked. I didn't even look up as I mumbled back. Yeah, I'm just not hungry. I wasn't sure if the food was the problem or if I just hated her telling me what to do. Mo Shuing didn't say another word. However, I could feel the icy distance coming off her in waves. Once I finished eating, I retreated to my room. That scene in Zhu Yi's office kept playing on a loop in my head. The more I replayed it, the more my frustration boiled over. Suddenly, an impulse took over. I walked out of my room, stood there for a long time, and finally knocked on Mo Shuing's door. I waited for a few seconds, but it was dead silent. I started to lose my nerve. Just as I was about to bail, the door swung open. I stared intensely at the woman in front of me. She had clearly just stepped out of the shower. Her damp hair hung over her shoulders, making her look incredibly relaxed and alluring. Why would she answer the door looking like that? My eyes drifted toward her pale skin before I caught myself. What am I even doing? Did you need something? She asked first. Her voice sounded a little surprised. Nothing, I blurted out. I tried to make a run for it, but she called out to me. Ah, Chen, where do you think you're going? Her voice was low and seductive. I stopped right where I was, feeling a bit flustered. I'm going to a bar to get a few drinks, I said. As soon as the words left my mouth, she shut me down. You aren't allowed to go. It's way too late. I braced myself and tried to push back. I'm going anyway. I feel miserable inside. We have plenty of alcohol here. If you want a drink, you can have one at home. She finished her sentence, closed her bedroom door, and reached out to grab my wrist. I just stared at her hand as I followed her down to the basement wine cellar. She eventually let go of my wrist and pulled a bottle of red wine from a black and gold cabinet. She opened it up and poured the liquid into a decanter. The rich scent of the wine filled the room, and I couldn't help but swallow hard. I don't think I've ever actually had red wine before. I'd only ever taken a few sips of cocktails in the past. My sister always kept me away from it. She used to say that men get violent and angry when they drink, and that they lose control of themselves. Thinking about that, I had to ask, is this stuff going to make me violent and angry? Mo Shuing let out a soft, amused laugh. Who told you something like that? She asked. My sister did, I replied. A little red wine is actually good for you if you drink in moderation, but you can only have a little bit. Don't overdo it. My eyes lit up right away. I stared at the decanter, feeling impatient. Can I drink it now? Wait, just a little longer. It needs to breathe so it isn't bitter. My excitement vanished instantly. 2 seconds later, I couldn't help but ask her again, how about now? Mo Shuing looked up at me with a smile in her eyes. She picked up the decanter and slowly poured the wine into a glass, then handed it over. Does your sister usually keep you away from alcohol? My mouth twitched at the question. I couldn't bring myself to tell the truth, so I lied. Not at all. My sister lets me drink whenever I want. She chuckled softly, but she didn't call me out on my lie. She walked around the counter and sat on the bar stool right next to mine. I picked up the glass and took a tiny sip. I frowned immediately. It was so bitter and dry. This didn't taste good at all. It wasn't nearly as smooth as a cocktail, and I definitely wasn't used to it. How about I just get you some juice? I shot her a dirty look, then downed the rest of my wine in one go like a real man. A sweet, spicy flavor filled my mouth. Honestly, this wine is all flash and no substance. Mo Shuing's red lips curled into a soft smile, and she took a sip of her own drink. She saw me pouring another glass, so she gave me a warning. Slow down. You don't want to get drunk. I just scoffed at that. This young master can handle 1,000 cups without breaking a sweat. I knocked back the second glass in one gulp. The second that glass hit my stomach, my head began to spin. My vision went blurry and I collapsed onto the bar. I didn't even want to move anymore. Mo Shuing just smiled and shook her head. While she slowly sipped her drink, she whispered something to herself. It seems Chen really doesn't see me as a stranger. I forced my head up and stared at her. Sister, you're so good to me, I mumbled. A look of surprise flashed in Mo Shuing's eyes. She leaned closer and asked, really? I gave her a heavy nod, yeah. Wow, the room is really spinning now. I looked at her red lips, and suddenly that scene in Joey's office came back to me. A wave of pure sadness washed over me. The alcohol gave me a boost, and I leaned in closer. She spoke in a soft, seductive voice. Do you even know who I am right now? I shook my head. My brain felt heavy and dizzy. I'm just not good enough, I muttered to myself. She sounded helpless but affectionate. You're plenty good enough. Our Chen is the absolute best. Mo Showing held me steady. I pressed my cheek against the cold countertop and stared into space. I'm the best, I mumbled. Joey E is the one who doesn't deserve me. Mo Shuang watched me with a look of deep affection. Why is this silly puppy taking it so hard? He's such a hopeless romantic. Sleepiness finally washed over me. Mo Shuang heard my breathing even out. She called my name a few times, but I didn't answer. She signaled a bodyguard to carry me to my room. I woke up slightly while Mo Shuang was tucking me in. All I could see were those red lips. I felt a sudden impulse, so I lifted my head and leaned toward her. Her eyes went wide with total disbelief. My vision was a mess, but I gave her a dizzy smile anyway. She spoke in a stern, serious voice. Su Chen, do you know who I am? You can't just go around kissing people. My head was spinning too fast to understand her. I just had a feeling she was mad at me. I quickly rolled over to hide from the scolding. Her expression softened when I didn't say anything. She stared at my lips, and her fingers drifted up to touch her own. Sleep well, Chen. By tomorrow you'll forget all about Zhu Yi. The next morning, Mo Shuang was eating breakfast when her phone rang. It was a video call. Where is my brother? Su Yu's voice demanded as soon as the call connected. It took you long enough to remember him. I thought you'd forgotten he existed, Mo said. Su Yu sounded a little guilty. No way. I've just been busy. Besides, I did some digging. You didn't go abroad for work. You went there to chase some guy. Mo Shuang kept her voice cold and distant. If you're that busy, then don't bother calling. Your brother is doing fine. I'm not going to let him starve. That's not the point. What if you're bullying him? Su Yu asked. Right then, I stumbled down the stairs while rubbing my sleepy eyes. Sis, is that you? I mumbled. I thought I heard your voice. Su Yu's voice jumped an octave the second she saw me. Little brother, she shrieked. Mo Shuang flipped the phone camera in my direction, giving Su Yu a full view of my wild bedhead. Mo Shuang, is this how you're treating our Chen? Mo Shuang looked totally baffled. She clearly didn't expect Su Yu to come at her over a messy hairstyle. Hearing my sister's dramatic words made me cringe so hard. My toes were practically digging a 3-bedroom apartment into the floor. You don't seriously expect me to blow dry his hair and pick out his outfits, do you? Mo Xuan thought to herself. Su Yu looked like she was about to explode, but then she suddenly calmed down. A smug look took over her face. Right, I forgot. You're just a single dog with no brother and no boyfriend. It's only natural that you wouldn't know how to handle these things. Mo Xuan was left speechless. I get it. You're just here to brag about your dating life. She glared at Su Yu on the screen, her expression full of contempt. Go ahead and laugh for now. Just wait until I make your brother mine. Let's see if you're still laughing then. You need to hire a stylist for my brother, Su Yu insisted. Chen is used to being pampered at home. I stepped closer and spoke up in a weak voice. Sis, I can handle it myself. No way. Your sister paid good money for this, she snapped. You should live there exactly like you do at home. Don't you dare let yourself suffer. I didn't dare say another word after that. I just snuck a quick look at Mo Xuan. She didn't show much emotion at all. It's no big deal, she said calmly. The young master deserves the best treatment. If things are worse for him here, how am I ever going to trick him into falling for me? My sister's voice softened with concern. Little brother, Mo Xuan hasn't been bullying you, has she? No, Sister Xiang is actually really nice, I said. Mo Xuan rolled her eyes at the screen. You aren't allowed to call her sister, Su Yu barked. I looked at her, totally confused. Then what should I call her? Just call her Mo Xuan. Listen to me. If she treats you badly, you tell me immediately. I'll handle it. I didn't want to deal with my sister's craziness anymore, so I just nodded like a good boy. Mo Xuan flipped the camera back to her own face. All right, my phone is about to die. I'm hanging up. Right before the call ended, Su Yu screamed, Don't you dare bully my brother. I'll be checking in on him all the time. Mo Xuan tossed her phone aside and watched me eat my porridge. You're up early today, she noted. I thought my silly Chen would be feeling sick after drinking so much last night. I didn't even tell anyone to wake you up. My mouth twitched at her words. Of course I had to get up. It would be way too embarrassing to wait for the host to come get me. A strange silence filled the room. Do you remember what you did after you started drinking last night? She asked. I felt a bit lost. What did I do? I don't really remember anything. Mo Xuan looked at me with a smirk. It was nothing. You got drunk after just 2 glasses. I had someone take you back to your room so you could sleep. She went quiet for a moment, thinking things over. Forget it, I won't say a word. We've only lived together for a few days. I don't want to scare my silly little puppy away. My eyes widened. I honestly thought I'd crawled back to my room on my own. Our eyes met unexpectedly. Sorry for the trouble, sister. You aren't allowed to go out drinking with anyone else from now on, she said firmly. It's way too dangerous. I couldn't even stop myself from kissing him just now, she thought secretly. If some other woman snatches him away, it'll be a total disaster. My old feeling of helplessness started to creep back. My good mood vanished in a heartbeat. You're just as much of a nag as my sister. It's honestly so annoying. Once I finished breakfast, I started heading upstairs to my room. I was halfway up the flight when I felt a presence behind me. I spun around and found Mo Shuang standing just 2 steps below. Sister Shuang, aren't you heading out to work? I asked. She looked at me coolly. Your sister told me to manage your image. You're gonna manage me? My surprise quickly turned into a weird, uneasy feeling. Don't scare me like that. I'm actually terrified right now. There's no need, Sister Shuang, I can handle it myself, I insisted. She frowned at me. So you aren't even going to listen to your sister? I really don't need help. I've got this, I replied. I kept turning her down, and the icy vibe radiating from her only got heavier. She shot me one last freezing look, turned on her heel, and marched away. Seriously, why is she mad now? While I was messing around with my hair, my childhood friend gave me a buzz. I clicked the speakerphone and set the mobile aside. Hey, G.A., what's going on? Judging by your voice, it sounds like you've finally moved past that heartbreak, he teased. I curled my lip in annoyance. What heartbreak? We weren't even officially dating. It's true. Now that my head is clear, I hate admitting I ever had a thing for Zhou Yi. It's honestly embarrassing. Yunji sounded a little confused on the other end. But seriously, Zhou Yi doesn't seem like the cheating type. Are you sure there wasn't some kind of misunderstanding between you two? Misunderstanding? I scoffed. I saw it with my own eyes. What could I possibly have gotten wrong? I continued. My sister was right. Women are nothing but trouble. Hearing that, it's clear Su Yu is just constant trouble. Are you doing okay living at that place? J.A. asked. No, I can't stand staying here, I admitted. Then sneak over to my house and stay for a few days. You said it, not me. I'm definitely coming over then. I'm not home yet, though. My flight lands at 9 p.m. tonight. Just wait for me to come get you. Okay, I agreed. Mo Shuang has a business dinner tonight, so she'll be back very late. This is perfect. I can use the opportunity to crash at my friend's place for a while. At 10 p.m. sharp, a luxury van pulled up to the gates of the Mo estate. As soon as I got the text, I grabbed my bags and hurried out. But to my absolute shock, I walked out the villa doors only to see 2 women standing there chatting. Mo Shuang noticed me moving and turned her head. Her eyes were as cold as frost, and I immediately chickened out. Yunjai was already sitting in the van, waving at me with excitement. Hey, Chen. I glanced at him for a second and then quickly looked away. Sister Meng Yao, I muttered. Yun Meng Yao stared at me in disbelief. I can't believe Su Yu actually left her brother with you. Mo Shuang didn't even bother to reply. She was clearly in a foul mood. Why didn't my silly puppy say hello to me? Call me sister, she demanded in a frigid tone. What are you doing out so late? I felt a wave of guilt wash over me. This woman is honestly way scarier than my own sister. I'm just going out to hang out, I said, looking toward Yunji in the car for some backup. You aren't allowed to go, she snapped. Why not? I asked. It's too late. You can go out during the day, but not at night. I turned to Yun Mengyao again, hoping for a miracle. Sister Mengyao, can I please come hang out at your house? Yun Mengyao instinctively glanced at Mo Shuang. Even though she knew the whole point of this trip was to pick me up, she looked terrified. With a woman like Mo Shuang standing right there, how could she possibly dare to agree? Chen, be a good boy. It's already so late, Mengyao said softly. Just go out with G.A. tomorrow instead. I looked at Yunji in the car, feeling totally deflated. Yunji glared at his older sister with pure frustration. His sister is such a pushover. She can't even handle Mo Shuang. Without another word, Mo Shuang directly issued an eviction notice to the guests. That's an order. You guys can head back now. Yunji and I traded a hesitant look. Mo Shuang stepped toward me and snapped. What are you staring at? Get your butt inside, right now. I looked away and trudged indoors, grumbling under my breath. Do you own the whole world? Why are you sticking your nose into everything? I'm just doing exactly what your sister told me to do, she replied. Mo Shuang turned around, her eyes narrowing as she studied me. I thought you were my sister's biggest rival. Why are you being such a good listener? Don't tell me you've got a secret crush on her. I have a crush on you. I rolled my eyes internally. Psycho. You need to be a bit bolder, you know? If my sister tells you not to let me do something, you should let me do it anyway. That's how you show her who's really in charge. Mo Shuing reached out and grabbed my hand just as I was about to pull it away. What do you think you're doing? Panic flashed in my eyes. Chen, are you trying to tell me what to do? I backed down immediately. No, I'm not. It was just a suggestion. You can do whatever you want. Mo Shuing let out a quiet, mysterious chuckle. Do you really want to leave me? I lied through my teeth. I don't. My silly puppy really doesn't know how to lie, she thought to herself. Can't hide his little thoughts at all. Chen, be a good boy. Your big sister will take care of you. Her voice was low and seductive, making my heart skip a beat. Sister Shuing, I'll be obedient from now on. I promise to do whatever you say. Mo Shuing stared at me, clearly doubting my words, before she finally spoke. Starting tonight, your curfew is 8:10 p.m. every night. She paused for a moment, considering. Actually, it's getting colder out. Let's make it 7 p.m. The second I heard that, the fake smile I'd forced on my face disappeared. This heartless woman. I'm going to tell my sister you're bullying me. Mo Shuing watched me walk away, then pulled out her phone to text Su Yu. There are too many sketchy girls around these days. A curfew is a smart move. I have to work, so I can't watch him every second of the day. Once I was back in my room, I called Su Yu to complain. It backfired completely. Instead of helping, she gave me a lecture. You aren't allowed to hang out with those sketchy girls, she snapped. I was so frustrated that I couldn't even sleep. I woke up the next morning feeling totally resentful. I sat at the dining table and glared at the woman across from me while she scrolled through her phone. Mo Zuying didn't even acknowledge me. She just picked up her coffee and went to take a sip. I jumped up, grabbed the cup from her hand, and dumped the coffee onto the floor. I tilted my chin up defiantly. A bunch of coffee had splashed onto Mo Zuying's hand. Aunt Liu saw the tension and immediately looked for a way to escape. Miss, please wait. I'll make a fresh pot right now. I caught a glimpse of Mo Zuying's eyes and a shiver ran down my spine. Oh no, she's actually pissed. I watched her, waiting for the explosion. Wait a second. Why isn't she yelling? If she doesn't lose her cool, I can't complain to my sister or find an excuse to move back home. Is she not mad enough yet? Aunt Liu returned with a fresh cup of coffee. To my surprise, the lady of the house didn't seem angry at all. I grabbed the cup and took a massive gulp. Why is this so bitter? Mo Shuying set her phone down and watched me with a calm, amused look. I already drank from that, she said, as I put the cup back down. I set the coffee back on the table, feeling a wave of disgust. It isn't easy for the maids to clean up after her, you know. I'd heard she was a total germaphobe. I figured if I took a small sip, there was no way she'd touch it again. Suddenly, Mo Shuying turned to me. Is it any good? She asked. I froze for a second, then gave a stubborn reply. It's delicious, I muttered. As long as you like it, she said. With that, she picked up the cup and aimed for the exact spot where my lips had just touched the rim. She drained the rest of the coffee in a single breath. I was completely stunned. Next to us, Aunt Liu looked like she'd just seen a ghost. Mo Zuying gave a calm evaluation. Today's coffee is actually quite sweet. I grumbled to myself. How is that sweet? Is there something wrong with this woman's taste buds? But Aunt Liu, standing right there, understood the hidden meaning perfectly. I should have known. There was no way the young miss would just let anyone live here. Oh, I see. He's her sweetheart. Mo Zuying stood up. She gave me a sly look and said, I'm heading to work. If you want to go out and play, just make sure you're home before 8 p.m. Something felt off. My sister told me she was a neat freak, but here's the real dirt. Whenever Miss Su brought young Master Su around, President Mo would always find a way to shadow him. She wouldn't actually do anything. She'd just stare at him in secret. It's like she's always there just to annoy me. It's so frustrating. Just a few days ago at a party, President Mo tagged along again. Some wealthy socialite tried to flirt with young Master Su, and President Mo literally had her thrown out of the building. It's honestly too cute not to ship them. Yu Shu King shook herself out of her daydream. Young Master Su, please take a seat, she said with a small smile. Just let me know what you'd like to eat, and I'll have the secretary bring it right over. No need, I replied. I walked over to the massive floor-to-ceiling windows and stared down at the view below. Wait, this isn't right. What am I even doing here? Shouldn't I be sticking to Mo Shuying's side 24/7? Assistant Shu, wait a second, I called out. Shu King stopped in her tracks and looked back at me. Is there something else, young Master Su? I think I need to see Mo Shuying's schedule first. What is she up to later? Shu King thought about it for a moment, then decided to give me a straight answer. President Mo has a meeting starting in 20 minutes. Which conference room? Take me there now. Yu Shu King assumed that young Master Su just wanted to get closer to the boss. Without saying another word, she led me straight toward the conference room. When Mo Ying finally came upstairs, Yu Shu King was already waiting by the elevator. Everyone is inside. The meeting can start as soon as you head over. President Mo, you're actually late. Mo Ying didn't seem to care about time. Instead, she immediately asked about my whereabouts. Where is Su Chen? He's in your office, the assistant replied. Mo Ying instantly turned around to head back to her office. Meetings don't stand a chance against her precious puppy, Yu Shu King secretly grumbled to herself. Her boss was totally love-struck. To get her boss to actually attend the meeting, Yu Shu King had a sudden flash of inspiration. She spoke up quickly. I noticed young Master Su looked a bit exhausted earlier. He's probably resting right now. At those words, Mo Ying stopped dead in her tracks. She hesitated for just a heartbeat before turning back toward the conference room. Then I won't go in and disturb my puppy's nap. Yu Shu King cheered silently. I'm a total genius, she thought. I've got the boss exactly where I want her. Later, when the meeting was well underway, I pushed the doors open without any warning. Under the collective stare of everyone in the room, I walked right in with a grin on my face. You guys have been in here for so long. Everyone must be parched, I announced. President Mo is treating the whole room to drinks. The delivery guy followed me in with the cold drinks and started handing them out to everyone. The crowd looked at Mo Ying in absolute shock. She just looked lazy and relaxed, gazing at me with nothing but affection in her eyes. I casually grabbed a cup of fruit tea and set it on her desk, acting like a total teacher's pet. President Mo, it's roasting outside. Have some fruit tea. I secretly rubbed my hands together and waited. Get mad, I thought. Come on, hurry up and scold me. Then you can finally kick me out of here. Mo Ying saw right through my smug expression. She simply picked up the tea and took a long sip. It's actually pretty good, she remarked. The expressions on everyone else's faces turned to sheer horror. What on earth is happening? Not only is President Mo not furious, but she's actually sitting there drinking it with a smile. After trading confused glances, everyone else tentatively picked up their cups and started drinking. On a hot day like this, young Master Su is being kind enough to buy everyone drinks. Aren't you all going to say something? Mo Ying prompted. The group spoke up in perfect unison. Thank you for the milk tea, young Master Su. I couldn't help but frown. This definitely wasn't how I planned for this to go. This isn't how the plot was supposed to go. Anyway, you guys keep your meeting going. I won't get in your way anymore, I said. With that, I made a quiet exit from the conference room. Mo Ying watched me leave, her eyes following me before she turned back to the clueless executives. She saw them still sipping on the drinks I'd bought, and her voice dripped with pure jealousy. Is it good? She asked. The room instantly filled with people trying to suck up to her. It's delicious. Really good, they chirped. Mo Ying swept a freezing glare across the crowd. They caught the hint immediately, and everyone switched their story. Actually, it tastes terrible, they mumbled. Her expression grew even more displeased at that. Suddenly, everyone went silent, not daring to utter another syllable. Drinking during a meeting is a violation, so everyone's bonuses are revoked for the month. Their faces went totally numb. Yu Shu King, who was standing off to the side, stepped in and snatched away all the milk teas. This was the very first time President Mo had ever gotten a gift from young Master Su. These idiots actually thought they were entitled to a share. They really must have a death wish. Everyone's hearts sank. Their bonuses were gone, and now their drinks were too. I headed back to the office and crashed into Mo Ying's leather chair. That woman is incredibly hard to rattle. She didn't seem flustered in the slightest. It's no surprise the Mo family is doing a bit better than the sus. My sister honestly can't compete. When her crush bolted, she went running right after him. She's such a hopeless romantic. But wait, does Mo Ying actually have a guy she likes? Right as Mo Ying stepped out of the meeting, her phone buzzed with the same message from several different people. The young master of the Su family is asking if you have a sweetheart, the text read. She pushed the door open and stepped inside. I was still slumped in her chair, looking pretty pathetic. I'd asked everyone I could find, but nobody knew if she had a sweetheart. Is she actually incapable of catching feelings for someone? She saw that I wasn't planning on moving, so she gave me a sly look. Chen, if you sit there, it means you have to work seriously. I didn't even let her finish. I jumped up immediately and gave her a playful salute. Mo Ying finally took her seat. Chen, let's add each other as friends, she said. I wanted to turn her down right then and there, but I didn't have the guts. Why? I asked. I'll transfer the money for the delivery to you, she replied. I told her there was no need since it wasn't a lot of money. My sister might be a bit of a ditz, but she's a machine when it comes to making money. I'm never short on cash. Mo Xiuing was clearly trying to figure out a way to get my contact info. I'm your sister's biggest rival. If you spend my money, she'd probably be thrilled about it, she pointed out. I looked at her and thought it over for a second. That actually makes sense, I agreed. Once we were friends, she instantly sent me 520,000. Sister Xiuing, why did you send me exactly 520,000? I asked. Because a transfer with a special meaning like this can't be taken back, she explained. No matter what happens, I can't ask for it to be returned. This number shows how I really feel. I was a little confused, but I guess it sounded logical enough. Behind the screen, Mo Xiuing changed my nickname to Silly Puppy as my one and only heartthrob. She was finally holding his contact info after all these years. Once I took the money, I leaned in close to her. Sister Xiuing, I called out. She turned her head to look at me. Is there a guy you're actually into? I asked. She flipped the question right back on me. What about you, Chen? Is there someone you like? I started groaning. You already know about Joey. Why are you bringing up such a painful topic? Mo Xiuing just looked into my eyes, her expression quiet and steady, and said, I do, she said, her voice dropping into a serious tone. My eyes practically popped out of my head. I couldn't believe it. She actually has a man she likes. Come on, can you tell me who he is? I asked. No, I really can't. Hey, Sister Xiuing, just give me a name. Chen, why are you so curious? Is it possible that you actually like me? Yeah, I like you the most, Sister Xiuing. Mo Xiuing shot me a seductive look. Oh, and what kind of like are we talking about? I froze right there. Was it family love? No, we aren't even related, and it definitely wasn't romantic love. I made a snap decision and chose to lie. If I told you I had a secret crush on you, would you even believe me? Mo Xiuing went still, her eyes wide with shock. Wait, you have a crush on me? Yeah, I do. That's why I'm so desperate to know who you're into. What's your type anyway? Mo Xiuing laughed a little and nodded. I see. My type is actually someone a lot like you. So if you decided to chase me, you'd probably have a great shot at winning. This woman was definitely just messing with me. So are you going to try and win me over? She teased. Not a chance. My sister would literally break both of my legs. Plus, I don't even like you like that. Why would I ever pursue you? When she heard that, Mo Xiuing immediately turned her head away. Well, if you aren't going to make a move, then there's no point in me sharing anything else. I stood behind her and glared at her, then I turned to walk out. Mo Xiuing called out and asked where I was headed. I didn't even bother looking back. I'm bored, so I'm going out to play. It's almost noon. You should eat lunch before you leave. I curled my lip in annoyance. No thanks, eat by yourself. Mo Xiuing looked helpless as she pressed the intercom button. Make the arrangements. I want the bodyguards to follow him. Yu Cheng gave a respectful reply. Yes, I'll arrange it right away. Later, I met up with Yunji for lunch. Hurry up and help me think of a way out of this. How can I get my sister to take back the idea of having Mo Xiuing take care of me? That doesn't even make sense, Yunji said. Didn't your sister say she's unapproachable? I thought anyone who offended her ended up badly. She just doesn't lose her temper with you, Yunji added. What do you mean she doesn't lose her temper? When she glares at me, I practically wet my pants. She won't let me do this, and she won't let me do that. Honestly, she's even more annoying than my own sister. After hearing me say this, Yunji nodded. Now, that matches my impression of Mo Xiuing. I let out a heavy sigh. What should we do? You interrupted her meeting, and she didn't even get mad. That's exactly why I'm asking you to help me think of a way, I told him. I could see the gears starting to turn in Yunji's head. I've got plenty of ideas, but are you sure you can handle them? For instance, no woman dislikes handsome guys. How about we find 10 of them for her? 10 out of 10, it's a perfect plan. I hesitated for a moment. If we really do that, what then? She'll kill me. Hey, no pain, no gain, he replied. If we're gonna play, let's play hard. Listen, we'll sneak some photos and send them to your sister. Once your sister sees her bad character, she'll naturally bring you back home. How about it? I hesitated for a second, then I slammed my hand on the table. Let's do it. When night fell, Yunji and I wore masks and sunglasses. We snuck into the club like a couple of thieves. As soon as we entered the VIP room, we were greeted. Good evening, young masters. Yunji looked at them and nodded in satisfaction. They were all called over according to your request. Yunji turned and glanced at him. Good job. Have them step out for now and call a few girls over. I quickly spoke up. Wait, why are we calling girls? Are you stupid? What's the point of just the two of us being here? Of course we need some people to play games with us. Otherwise, are you just gonna sit there and do nothing? I gave a quick nod. It made sense. Honestly, Yunji and I were having the time of our lives. We laughed so much that our cheeks started to ache. My phone was buzzing like crazy in my pocket, but the thumping club music completely buried the sound. The two girls sitting beside us wouldn't stop cheering. I leaned in to take a sip of juice from one of their hands, but then I looked up. My heart stopped when I locked eyes with Mo Shoying. Get out. Everyone get out right now. The manager scrambled to usher all the women out of the room. Even Yunji didn't hesitate, standing up to make a quick exit. Sister Shoying, what? Why are you even here? A freezing smirk touched her lips. I never knew you were such a player, Su Chen. Are you really out here selling your smiles to any woman who walks by? I frowned. No way. What do you even mean, selling my smiles to a bunch of women? The room went dead silent. Mo Shoying felt like she was drowning in a sea of jealousy. Having a blast with all these women, I see. Must be real fun. She wasn't wrong. Those ladies really knew how to make a guy feel special. Mo Shoying gritted her teeth, her voice dropping an octave as she hissed my name. Su Chen. They weren't bad looking either. Why won't my silly puppy play with me instead? Mo Shoying screamed the words inside her heart. I could tell she was right on the edge of a total meltdown. I tried to be thoughtful, so I made an offer. How about I play with you next time? She just stared at me. Su Chen! What? The look she gave me was pure heartbreak. Are you trying to drive me insane today? What did I even do? I asked, feeling confused. Look, if you're bored, I can just call over a few handsome guys to keep you company. Her jaw nearly hit the floor. What did you just say? The guys are already on standby, I explained. They can play games with you whenever you want. A flash of genuine shock crossed Mo Shoying's eyes. Wait, you guys were just playing games? I blinked, totally lost. Well, yeah, what else would we be doing? She glared at me, her voice sharp. Then why was that woman feeding you just now? I had to think about it for a second. I was thirsty. Is it a crime to have a sip of juice? Mo Shoying looked into my eyes, seeing nothing but innocence, and her face flushed with a mix of anger and embarrassment. You actually come to a place like this just to play games and drink juice? Is that against the rules? I asked. Yes, it is. If you ever come back here, I'm going to discipline you myself. You promised to be home by 8 o'clock. Do you have any idea what time it is? I took a quick, sneaky peek at my wrist. It was 9. Mo Xuang let out a chilling laugh. Oh, so you do know how to read a watch. I'm not going back, I snapped. I'm staying here just to spite you. That was the final straw. Mo Xuang was so angry that she grabbed my arm, yanked me to my feet, and started dragging me toward the exit. I tried to pull away, but her sultry voice stopped me cold. I don't mind having someone carry you out of here if I have to. What a nightmare. She was a truly wicked woman. We were just about to leave when someone stopped us. The bill for tonight hasn't been paid yet. Also, those 10 guys you asked for are ready to be taken away whenever you are. Mo Xuang let go of my wrist, her eyes darting between me and the staff member. 10 guys, huh? I nodded proudly. Yeah, I ordered 10 handsome guys to go home and play games with you. Mo Xuang's red lips parted in surprise. You actually ordered them for me? Yeah, and they're all super good looking. She saw right through me. Even though she knew I was up to something, she decided to let it slide to keep me from looking like a fool in public. Tell those men to get as far away as possible, she told the staff, and put the entire bill on my tab. Of course, ma'am. Mo Xuang grabbed my hand again and pulled me along. Your sister has only been gone for a few days, and you're already acting this entitled. Do you really think I can't keep you in line? I can't believe you actually tried to find men for me. You're really something else. I wasn't scared at all. If you dare try to teach me a lesson, I'll go tattle on you right now. Yunji was squatting by the door, worrying about my safety. He watched in total shock as I was led away like a lost puppy. No way, he muttered. What kind of plot twist is this? He grabbed his phone and snapped 2 sneaky photos. After taking them, he stopped to admire the shots. Honestly, those two actually look pretty great together. Mo Shuying's figure is absolutely killer. I followed her into the Maybach, feeling the tension rise. She looked at me and said, if you want to go home, you're going to need your sister to come pick you up. Suddenly, I heard the sharp click of the car door locking. She pulled out her phone and dialed Su Yu immediately. Your brother isn't coming home tonight, she said into the receiver. He just ordered 10 different women to his table. There was a dead silence on the other end for a split second. Then, a massive torrent of scolding unleashed from the speaker. I covered my ears in total denial, but Mo Shui-ying held the phone right up to my face on purpose. I glared at the woman, finally found my courage, and snatched the phone away to hang up. You're a grown adult and you're still tattling like kid? I snapped. Do you have any idea how much I hate snitches? And how could you just pinch my face like that? Are you not even mad about what you did? You're the one who called my sister to tattle first, she countered. Our eyes met, and I guiltily turned my head away. I just wanted to distance myself from this woman since she was staying out so late. Are you ready to accept your punishment now? She asked. I looked back at her, totally stunned. Are you really going to punish me? Mo Shui Ying gave me a sly, playful smile. Since you love going to clubs and playing games with women so much, your punishment is simple. You're going home to play with me. She looked at my frustrated face, leaned in close, and wrapped her arms tightly around my waist. Hey, don't take advantage of me, I protested. So what if I do take advantage of you? She whispered. I looked at the woman in my arms and tried to find a way out of this mess. I put on my most pitiful face and said, Sister Shui Ying, I've never been punished in my entire life. Can you please just let me off this once? She paused for a moment. Fine. If you behave yourself from now on, I won't punish you. I immediately started nodding as fast as I could. I'll be good, Sister Shui Ying. You have to keep your word. Okay, she replied. That single word sounded incredibly charming and seductive. My heart seemed to skip a beat, and the atmosphere in the car felt thick and intimate. Sister Shui Ying, can you let go of me first? She reluctantly released me and reached out to ruffle my hair. To be honest, Sister Shui Ying's look perfectly matches my aesthetic. Once we were back at the Mo estate, I rushed straight to my bedroom. I pulled out my phone and found a mountain of unread messages waiting for me. More than half of them were from Mo Shui Ying. She had sent dozens of voice notes in a row. Her tone started out gentle at first, but it got colder with every recording. Once I catch you, I'm going to teach you a very harsh lesson, the last one said. I shook my head, feeling a chill. I clicked on the photo Yunji sent me. It was the one he took secretly back the club. Bro, what is even going on here? His text read. You two holding hands is just way too cute. I'm totally shipping it. I fired back a voice message immediately. Shipping everyone you see is going to be your downfall. It's not what you think at all. One look at her and you can tell she was dying to teach me a lesson. He called me back right away. So, what's the real situation? What do you mean there is no situation? I insisted. I think the eldest Miss Mo definitely has feelings for you. When have you ever seen her by a man's side, let alone holding hands? I laughed at the screen. What a joke. How many times have you even seen her? I don't care what you say. I'm shipping it. I sighed into the phone. Instead of shipping us, you might as well ship me and Sister Ming Xiao. So, you've got your eyes on my sister? Man, you're seriously blind. Is that really how you talk about your own flesh and blood? It's like you haven't trashed her reputation enough already. I'll bet you 5 packs of spicy strips that Miss Mo is head over heels for you. No bet. I'm not interested. I think you're just acting like a coward. Did it finally click that she actually has feelings for you? Everyone nowadays just loves shipping these bizarre couples. It's honestly pathetic. A moment later, my phone buzzed again. I picked it up with a sigh and Yunji's hyper voice blasted through the speaker. Hey Chen, how about we step it up and bet a Maserati Trident? Are you out of your mind? You might as well just dream about it. It's a lot faster that way. Look, it's only 10 million. Are you in or not? Fine, you're on. If someone wants to hand me free cash, I'd be an idiot to turn it down. Just like that, the two plotters locked in their wager. I finished cleaning up and sat down on my bed. Suddenly, there was a knock. Come in, I said. Mo Shang pushed the door open and stepped inside. I realized it wasn't one of the staff and froze for a second. Sister Xiang, is something the matter? A brand sent over a men's watch this afternoon. I have no use for it, so you should have it. Thanks, Sister Xiang. She didn't say another word, she just kept staring at me. My brain hit a wall and I blurted out, Sister Xiang, do you actually like me? I do. And I don't mean the way a sister likes a brother. I mean the way a woman feels for a man. Why the sudden question? I made a bet with Yunji. He's convinced you have feelings for me, but I thought you already liked someone else. Sister Xiang, that kid Yunji saw right through it. I can't believe they actually used me for a wager. What was the stake? A brand new Maserati. Yunji said it costs over 10 million. Hey, just the thought of that sports car sitting in my garage makes me happy. Mo Shang thought to herself that these two were playing for high stakes. Then a genius idea hit me. Sister Jiang used my phone to send Yunji a voice note. We can split the money for the car 50-50. I'm not exactly hurting for cash, she replied. Okay, then how about a 70-30 split? You take 70 and I'll take 30. Wait, a 70-30 split? I'm worried I'll end up losing 10 million instead. Forget it, I don't like sending voice messages to other men anyway. How can she be so oblivious? We're talking 10 million here, not just a few bucks. Why is she acting so distant? She claims she doesn't like voice messaging other guys, but she sent me a dozen of them just a few hours ago. My sister's 10 million is just as good as anyone else's. Is she really that dismissive? Talk about double standards. All right, Chen, just be a good boy. Tell me which bank your card is with. I turned around, totally confused. Suddenly, I felt a warm, soft touch brush against my face, and my brain completely shorted out. Mo Xiang reached out and casually took my phone. Didn't you want to split it 50-50? I'll just transfer the money to you directly. My head was spinning as I followed her lead. A moment later, a notification popped up on my screen for 5.2 million. She's honestly more generous than my own sister. Now I'm really in her debt, and I've totally lost my edge. Why did you send me so much? Mo Xiang set the phone down. The money doesn't matter. Your happiness is the most important thing. Sister Xiang, it's getting pretty late. You should probably head back and get some sleep. She looked back at me, her eyes hiding a deep affection. Good night then, Chen. I watched her tall, elegant figure walk away as I sank into my thoughts. I couldn't wrap my head around it, so I just gave up. I pulled up my phone and sent a message to Yunji. Let's go out and have some fun tomorrow. Mo Xiang showed up to work the next day in a fantastic mood. Yu Shiqing could tell right away that things were finally moving forward with young Master Su. Word that Mo Xiang's cold heart was finally melting spread like wildfire. It didn't take long for the gossip to reach Shen Yuyao's ears. Shen immediately jumped into the group chat, telling the girls she wanted to drag them all out to see the change for themselves. She sent a quick text to Mo Xiang. I managed to get that stone the young master liked so much. Come to my party tonight and we can hang out. I'm not going. Just have someone deliver the stone to me, Xiaoying replied. Why aren't you coming? I wouldn't dare just hand a gem this precious to some random person, Shen pushed back. Mo Xiaoying wasn't moved, not interested. Shen Yuiao laughed when she saw the response on her screen. Fine, no party then. It'll just be a few of us girls hanging out. Are you coming or not? If you don't show up, I'm going to feed this stone to my Shiba Inu. Standing nearby, Guyuni knew exactly what was happening. She pulled out her phone and snapped a quick photo. A second later, the club door swung open. Shen Yuiao's hand shook so hard, she almost actually dropped the stone into the dog's mouth. She scrambled to hide the gem inside a sandalwood box. We're basically done drinking, and you finally decide to show up, Shen teased. Mo Xiaoying completely ignored the jab and, surprisingly, didn't even snap back. She walked straight over, picked up the sandalwood box from the table, and checked the contents. Once she saw it was safe, she finally looked relieved. Shen Yuiao leaned in close, her face nearly touching Mo Xiaoying's. Look at that lovesick expression. You've really fallen hard, haven't you? Mo Xiaoying ignored her and looked over at Yun Mengyao. What is she doing here? Gu Yuni and Shen Yuiao both shook their heads. Yun Mengyao is a friend of Su Yu. She doesn't usually show up to these kinds of gatherings. At that moment, Fu Chengyan spoke up. She came with me. She said she has something she needs to discuss with you. Yun Mengyao sat down right next to Mo Xiaoying. My brother wants you to watch this video. Mo Xiaoying looked down at the phone screen. In the clip, the young master had just stepped out of a luxury car. He was immediately surrounded by several women asking for his WeChat. Mo Xiaoying's elegant brows pulled together slightly. Those women are such an eyesore. I really want to hide my silly puppy away where no one can find him. Yun Mengyao was desperate to know the truth. My brother made a bet with Chen, so do you actually like him or not? We're talking about over 10 million here. That isn't a small amount of money. The three people sitting nearby could barely keep from laughing. Mo Xiaoying's red lips curled into a smile. You came all the way here just to ask me that. Yeah, why else would I suddenly show up? Mengyao replied. Go out and take a left, Xiaoying told her. You heartless woman, Mengyao muttered. Yun Mengyao stood up and leaned into Fu Chengyan's ear, asking in a low voice, so does she actually like him or not? Fu Chengyan just shrugged at her. What do you think? Yun Mengyao had no choice but to leave without an answer. Yun Shi is going to call me a stupid sister again. Once Yun Mengyao was gone, the others started teasing Xiaoying again. I heard Su Yu left her brother at your place for you to look after. What was she thinking? Isn't that like sending a lamb straight into a tiger's den? You're the one closest to him, so you better move fast. Your husband is already in your house. You need to strike first to get the upper hand. Mo Xiaoying just glared at them, too lazy to even play along. Hearing this, Shen Yuiao spoke up bluntly. Aren't you worried Su Yu will hold a knife to your throat? I mean, with all the kissing and hugging and everything else, why do you always think the worst of me? Xiaoying asked. And then, the three of them began tossing out suggestions for Mo Xiaoying. They urged her to use this chance to trick him into her arms, especially since Suyu was away in another country. I was hanging out at the Mo estate when my phone suddenly lit up with a call. The screen didn't show a name, so I didn't recognize the number at first. I ignored it, but it started ringing again a few seconds later. Feeling a bit confused, I finally picked up. Before I could say a word, a woman's voice cut in. "Young Master Su, I'm a friend of Mo Shuang. She's completely wasted right now. Can you come and get her? I'll send the location to your phone." Shen Yuao didn't wait for an answer and just hung up the phone. Back at the club, Gu Yuni watched the whole thing and shook her head in disbelief. "Shen Yuao, you're a riot. Su Chen doesn't even like her, so why on earth would he show up?" Mo Shuang heard that and took a huge gulp of her drink, trying to hide how much it hurt. Shen Yuao gave Gu Yuni a sharp poke. "If you don't know what's going on, just keep your mouth shut." About 10 minutes later, the family driver called in. "Miss, I'm heading to the club now." Shen Yuao smirked. "See, I told you there was a shot. Now you just need to take the lead. He'll be crazy about you before you know it." Mo Shuang was already starting to believe her own hype. She told herself that her silly puppy was actually coming all this way for her. He definitely has feelings for me, she thought. I stepped out of the car at the club entrance, feeling pretty annoyed. Was she looking out for me, or was I the one babysitting her? I'd just taken a payment from her, so I felt way too guilty to ignore the call. Like they say, taking someone's cash makes you go soft. I tracked down the private room and shoved the door open. I wasn't expecting to find only a few women sitting there with drinks. Every single one of them turned to look at me at the same time. I walked straight over to Mo Shuang. I couldn't help but notice all the empty whiskey bottles scattered across the table. "Sister Shuang, why did you drink this much?" I asked. Shen Yuo leaned over and whispered to Fu Qingyan, mocking my tone. "Oh, Sister Shuang," she teased. Mo Shuang looked up at me with blurry, bloodshot eyes. "Chen, you're actually here," she mumbled. "Give me a hug." I stood there frozen for a second. I'd never seen this side of her before, and it honestly caught me off guard. I didn't stop her when she wrapped her arms around my waist and leaned her head against my chest. Her friends were totally shocked. Fu Qingyan muttered under her breath. "I thought she'd be shy with us here, but I guess she's just gonna fake being wasted." I looked down at her long, dark hair, feeling completely lost. I had no idea where to put my hands. Suddenly, I felt her start to slip down the seat. "Sister Shuang, sit up straight," I urged. She didn't move. I had to reach out and steady her, then I looked back at the three girls watching us. "Aren't you guys gonna help me?" I asked. They immediately started acting like they didn't know her. "We don't know this girl, we're just sitting at the table next to her," they claimed. "She gets violent if we touch her when she's drunk, so we can't do anything." Fu Qingyan didn't even try to say anything. My hand accidentally grazed Mo Shuang's ear, and I couldn't help but complain to myself. What kind of friends does she have anyway? She shifted against me as if she was restless, and her grip on my lower back tightened. The three of them waved their hands at me. They shared a look and stood up at the same time. We actually have stuff to do, so we're heading out," they said. "We'll leave Shuang in your hands." "Hey, don't go!" I tried to stop them, but they bolted before I could say another word. I just watched them leave, completely stunned. The doors slammed shut with a heavy thud. I stared down at the woman who was currently clinging to my waist. "Sister Shuang, hey, wake up." She didn't move an inch. Since I didn't have a choice, I hoisted her up. I had to make her wrap her arms around my neck just to keep her steady. Her head slumped against my shoulder, and I could smell the heavy scent of alcohol on her breath. Honestly, the fumes were so strong I started feeling a little tipsy myself. I gave Chen a call to come get us. My face was burning up, so I just decided to scoop her up in a princess carry. I let out a quiet sigh of relief. It's a good thing I hit the gym regularly, or I never would have managed this. Shuang's grip on my neck tightened. She turned her face away, trying to hide a smile she couldn't seem to hold back. I walked right out of the club with her in my arms. The driver was waiting by the entrance and started to step forward to help. He froze instantly when his young mistress shot him a deadly glare. He stayed glued to the spot for a second, then pivoted and rushed to open the car door instead. I settled Shuang into the back seat. "I haven't even carried my own sister this way," I muttered under my breath. Once the door shut, a thought flashed through my mind. If I'm going to make a run for it, it has to be right now. I started to peel her fingers off my neck so I could escape, but the woman beside me suddenly opened her eyes. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper. "Where do you think you're going?" I felt a wave of embarrassment hit me. I'm just hungry. I was going to grab a bite to eat. Food from the street isn't clean," she said. "Let's go home, and the kitchen can whip something up for you." My mouth twitched, and I gave in with a sigh. "Fine, let's just go home then." Xiaoying leaned her weight against my shoulder. She reached out and placed a small sandalwood box on my lap. The box caught my eye immediately. I popped it open to take a look, and all my frustration disappeared in a heartbeat. Wait, is this for me? Xiaoying just gave me a soft, hummed response. I made sure to thank her properly. Thank you, Sister Xiaoying. I love it. I lost the bid for this black crystal a while back, and I've been upset about it ever since. I never thought I'd actually end up owning it. As long as you're happy, she murmured. Her mind drifted as she watched him. My puppy likes the gift I gave him today. Tomorrow he'll like me. Her voice sounded so clear and steady that I looked at her, totally shocked. Sister Xiaoying, are you actually sober right now? She seemed to snap back to her senses immediately. I'm still a little dizzy. Can I just lie down for a second? Then you should probably rest, I told her. She got exactly what she wanted and put her head in my lap. Right then, she felt like she might actually be drunk for real. I couldn't stop staring at the crystal. It looked amazing. Now I can finally start on that custom necklace I've been planning. The woman in my lap shifted slightly. I looked down at her. Without even thinking about it, I reached out and brushed my hand against her face. Sister Xiaoying really is gorgeous. Wait, what am I even doing? Once we were back at the Mo estate, I looked at the sleeping Xiaoying and carefully laid her down on her bed. Her hand stayed locked around my neck, and she suddenly gave me a sharp tug. I had to brace myself with one hand on the mattress, kneeling on one knee right next to her. Xiaoying let go. She kept her eyes squeezed shut. I stared at her red cheeks, completely unsure of what to do next. There was a knock at the door right then. Come in, I called out quickly. Aunt Liu walked in with some hangover soup, but she saw the way we were positioned and immediately turned her back. Wait, Aunt Liu, don't leave. I need your help here. Aunt Liu had no choice but to bring the soup over and set it on the nightstand. Young Master Suil, I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to feed this to her. Bring the hangover soup for the young miss. Aunt Liu, wait, don't leave yet. You have to get your young miss to let go of me first. Aunt Liu paused, feeling conflicted. Just then, she caught Mo Xiaoying opening one eye to give her a quick wink. She realized the truth immediately. The girl was just faking it. Young Master Su, what do you think about our eldest miss's appearance? I felt caught off guard by the random question. She's stunning, right? I think she's a real beauty, too. Just look at her nose. Look at that perfect little mouth. Aren't you even a little tempted? Don't you have any thoughts? My eyes followed her gaze down to Mo Xiaoying, who was pinned beneath me. I swallowed hard. I wouldn't dare. If my sister ever found out, she'd literally beat me to death. Aunt Liu chuckled. If you don't talk and I keep quiet, how would she ever find out? Just make sure you help her with that soup. Then she hurried out of the room. She even made sure to click the door shut behind her. Was this actually happening? Like master, like servant, I guess. Neither of them seemed normal at all. I poked the woman's shoulder and let a mischievous smile spread across my face. Mo Xiaoying, if you don't let go of me right now, I'm going to take advantage of you. Mo Xiaoying didn't move a single muscle. I don't think my silly puppy would actually do anything to me, she thought. But if he's being serious, I wouldn't even mind. I stared down at the unresponsive Mo Xiaoying and felt totally lost. What was I supposed to do? I'd never been in a spot like this before. I thought about calling my sister for advice. But just as I reached for my phone, the woman in my arms started mumbling about being hot. Before I could react, she let go of me and began pulling at her clothes. I panicked and grabbed the blanket to cover her up. Then I caught her restless hands to keep her still. Sister Xiaoying, stop moving. I'll get you the soup. I wasn't sure if she actually heard me, but she finally calmed down. Seeing her so obedient and sensible made her feel like a totally different person. I reached for the bowl on the nightstand and felt the side. It wasn't hot anymore. I scooped up a spoonful and held it to her lips. Mo Xiaoying's red lips parted just a bit and she swallowed the liquid. Then she slowly licked the corner of her mouth with her tongue. My heart skipped a beat and started racing. I finished the feeding as fast as I could. Then, I practically bolted out of her bedroom like my life depended on it. I didn't even notice that the woman behind me had finally opened her eyes. Mo Xiaoying glanced up at the security camera tucked in the corner. I'm definitely saving this footage to watch it frame by frame, she thought. My silly puppy is just too sweet. I slept like a rock that night, but in my dreams, that two-faced version of Mo Xiaoying had me completely hooked. When I finally woke up the next morning, I couldn't get her out of my head for a long time. I couldn't even look Mo Xiaoying in the eye while we ate breakfast. As we were finishing up, she spoke in a soft, gentle voice. Come to the mall with me later to buy some new clothes. I think I ruined the ones I wore last night. Wait, that didn't sound right at all. Didn't my sister tell me that her clothes were all custom-made? Every new seasonal line usually gets delivered straight to the house. Why would she ever need to go shopping herself? I decided to go along with it just to see what she was planning. Sure, I'll pay for them, I told her. I've been meaning to get you a gift with the money you gave me anyway. We got to the mall and wandered into a women's boutique. I spotted a row of frilly Lolita dresses and felt a sudden wave of mischief. I grabbed a simple one and took her by the wrist. Sister Xiaoying, I bet you'd look amazing in this. Want to? Want to try it on? Mo Shuang looked at the outfit, something she had never worn before. Are you serious? Does Chen really want to see me in this? I nodded. I'm serious. Sister Joying, you'd look absolutely stunning in that. You're going to turn so many heads. She thought about it for a second, took the dress, and headed into the fitting room. I sat there, trying to hide my grin. I could already imagine how shocking it was going to be. Once she comes out, I'm definitely going to sneak a few embarrassing photos. Outside the shop, Zhu Yi's friends spotted me from a distance. They quickly tugged at her sleeve. Yi, isn't that Su Chen over there? Zhu Yi looked over immediately. Once she confirmed it was me, she instinctively started running toward the store. The man she was with grabbed her arm. Yi, where are you going? She just shook him off and walked quickly toward me. I heard the commotion and turned my head, only to see Zhu Yi. What a stroke of bad luck to run into her here, of all places. Zhu Yi walked up and tried to pull me into a hug. I was just about to step back, but someone suddenly linked arms with me. The unique, familiar scent of Mo Suang filled the air. Go ahead and try touching him, she said. I dare you. Zhu Yi stared at how close we were, her face twisting with jealousy. Chen, is she your new girlfriend? We were together for so long, and you never even made it official. It's only been a few days, and you already have a new love? What does it have to do with you? I asked. Zhu Yi looked desperate. Chen, what happened last time was really just a misunderstanding. I really do like you. I scoffed. We both saw it with our own eyes. It was disgusting. Zhu Yi stood there, completely stunned. Chen, we've known each other for so long. You should know what kind of person I am. I don't just flirt with other people. I honestly thought that guy was you. Just then, her male companion from earlier walked over and stood beside her. This is my cousin Nan Chengfeng, she said. I gave a dry laugh. You sure have a lot of brothers. Look, we aren't in that kind of relationship anymore. You don't need to explain anything to me. It has nothing to do with me, I continued. Can't you see I already have someone by my side? Let's just be strangers from now on. Zhu Yi's eyes filled with tears. Chen, I chased you for 3 months and you never said yes. Now, after only a few days, someone else is already holding you and showing you off? Mo Shuing didn't miss a beat. We didn't just hug, we've already kissed too. So what? I can be with whoever I want. I can hug whoever I want, and I can kiss whoever I want. She reached out her hand and touched the spot I had supposedly just kissed. My scent was still lingering there. Zhu Yi gripped her clothes tightly, clearly furious at the display. Watching her expression and her reaction made me feel incredibly satisfied. I finally got my revenge. I looked at her with total arrogance. The next second, Mo Shuing grabbed my hand and spun me around. I stared blankly at her captivating smile. She squeezed my hand tight. Oh, Chen, you kissed the wrong spot just now. After she said that, she leaned in and kissed me. I froze completely, staring at her with a blank look in my eyes. Mo Shuing pulled back and licked her lips. She held onto my arm and gave the clueless Zhu Yi a cold, distant look. Are you still here? We won't be inviting you to our wedding. Zhu Yi's heart was completely shattered. Beside her, Nan Chengfeng pulled her away.